Facing the loss of a loved one is difficult, but losing someone to suicide can add another level of pain to your grief. But there are ways to deal with that pain. Joining us today is Scott Dykstra and Rebecca Olson with West Michigan Survivors of Suicide Loss. Thank you both for being here with us. So when someone is ready, talk about the importance of gathering with other survivors and people who can relate with you.
Well, when you think about being at work, people might experience a loss, and it could be expected or unexpected, but we often hear, okay, the bereavement policy is 3 to 5 days. And after dealing with a tremendously traumatic loss, you can't just package that up and come back as business as usual in 3 to 5 days. So it is very helpful to talk with others who understand, particularly if they've had the same type of loss by suicide. And this is something that people can come and do, whether it's the first few days since the loss, or we've had people come for the first time 40 years after their loss, finally realizing that there's no shame and there's no stigma to talking about this, and connecting with others who understand can be very helpful. And particularly, we've had people come who've perhaps just tried to attend any bereavement group, and while that's helpful, I think there can sometimes be this guilt around, do I feel awkward if people, fought a disease to, cancer, another type of, disease, and their loved one died, and then others might hear, oh, your loved one died by suicide, but it's the same type of grief of this person had a disease that was more invisible in their brain, and helpful to hear others who've been through that.
Walk us through what a support group looks like. What happens there?
I'm more of the self-care guru. So when I facilitate, I open it up and make sure that everybody does something to take care of themselves. Because after you lose a loved one, right, especially the suicide, we tend not to take care of ourselves through the grief. So I suggest either just basically going out for a walk, reading a book, either going out to your favorite restaurant, just something to kind of get your mind off of it temporarily, right, and kind of take care of yourself, because it's easy to lose.
Yeah. In the meeting, it feels, I could equate it to, I've used it as like a mental hug. So it's a very cozy environment. It's inclusive and welcome, to anybody, no matter what the circumstances were for the loss. Again, no matter who you lost, whether it was just a friend or whether it was your loved one, an immediate family member. And it is confidential. Everything that we discuss in the room stays there. We usually open up with just how everybody's feeling. Maybe it's around the holiday season. Maybe it's feeling like spring and everyone is blooming and there's flowers and we're feeling like the sunshine, but inside we might not be feeling that way. So we'll just do a check-in, and then if people are able to share their level of comfort, whether it's about what they've been experiencing or the circumstances of their loss, and then it usually opens up to just general conversation where someone might relate to, well, that was a similar feeling that I had, or this is something that worked for me, and then we meet again the next month. And so it's a very, again, welcoming environment.
What are some of the stories you've heard over the years of the difference these support groups are having in people's lives?
One of the gals that sit on her board, Bonnie, says it saved her life, right? In her first several months there, she'd cry and get angry and scream, and just over the course of coming back from month to month for a few years, it just helped her get past the anger and see that she wasn't alone, and other people were experiencing the same feelings.
And yeah, I mean, I can even speak for my own loss, that at the time I had just gotten married and I was feeling on top of the world. And in my support group, I ended up meeting 2 other women that had just been married within 6 months of me. Their dad was around the same age and took their life, and were the life of the party. And so we were able to develop fast friendships and just kind of commiserate over something that you would never think would happen. And we would end up going out to dinner or meeting for brunch, and we would always just say, they probably think we're just college girlfriends, and who would have ever thought that we're here because of this unique circumstance. So there's so many stories of things where it was, traumatic, or maybe there was addiction involved, maybe it was complete surprise, and we've honestly heard it all, and nothing would be surprising, but everyone can understand.
What do you want people to know who have lost someone to suicide? Your message?
I think that you're not alone. There's support, right? And we're a safe space to open up and you don't have to say anything, right? Just be there and know, right, that people care about you.
And I would add that there's no timeline on grief. Again, as I mentioned, I think we expect that grief, we see that the grief journey, and we're supposed to arrive at this period of acceptance. And I don't know that anyone can ever accept that people die, let alone by such a traumatic way. And that, as Scott said, you're not alone, but you don't have to shoulder this alone. You don't have to go through everyday life without talking about it. And also, you can come, again, at any point in time, no matter how long the grief has been, you can take time off from coming and talking to others, but just know that you do not have to deal with this alone.
Yeah, the healing process. Be patient. Don't rush it.
Yes.
All right. Rebecca, Scott, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.